my introduction into the faith, into Christianity, was more like a melting pot. When I was younger, I went to a bunch of different kinds of churches, different denominations. I did African Methodist, Episcopal, I could never say that word. I did the traditional Baptist, and then as I got older, I went to churches with my other friends, and they went to Presbyterian churches or like the generationally woke type of churches, so they weren't denominations really. And so all my life I got to experience God differently. And these differences honestly kind of drove me away. Or at least it made me apprehensive towards the Lord. But in a weird way, I was still pursuing him, I just didn't know. I was like seeking out spirituality in different ways. So when I was in high school, I kind of started getting into the teachings of Buddhism, and it was honestly just because there was no God in that. So there was no domineering authoritative power in Buddhism that was freeing, because the way that I was indoctrinated into the faith was very much under this umbrella of like God being an absolute ruler, and whatever you did was wrong, and it always made him mad, and he was going to judge you and punish you and all this other stuff. And so talk about fear of the Lord, right? But in those teachings, you know, it sent me away. And one thing that I knew though was that I had this general understanding of who Jesus was based upon the vacation Bible schools that I would go to, and like just the different ways that they teach children about Jesus, like in a very safe, clean type of way. But still though, I didn't know him like that. And I got to college and was still kind of in the wind. And looking back on my life, I realized that like Jesus was always chasing me. I had friends come to me and kind of be like, oh, you know, do you rock with God or whatever? And I'd be like, I'm agnostic. I don't know for real. And with agnosticism, it's very much the belief in a higher power. You just don't want to say that it's God, that it's Yahweh, or that it's one particular thing. And so all my friends would come to me and were trying to tell me of the good news of Jesus, but it was just like I didn't want to hear it. And then it was one night when I was in college, and me and some friends were hanging out, and you know, libations were going on, things were in the air, you know what I'm saying? And one of my friends, she was like, I'm about to talk about God, and if y'all don't want to hear, like, leave. And everybody else left, and it was just me and her and this other girl. And we were really kind of doing this sparring match, of like, you know, I would be like, well, the Bible is full of hypocrisies and blah, blah, blah. And she would be like, but Jesus is not hypocritical. Like Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Or I would be like, you know, the Bible's made up a bunch of all these stories. Like everything that people be trying to use to diminish the quality of the scriptures, I had in the arsenal ready. And she was equipped with the word, so she was giving it right back. And I remember after that moment, I was just kind of like, have I been too harsh to the Lord? Like, have I been holding a grudge against him? Have I, you know, I became aware of my hardened heart after that. And I want to say that was like my sophomore year in college. And time has passed. A good amount of time has passed. And even then, I feel like the Lord, specifically Jesus, is always chasing me. I went to a community Bible study recently, and I was sitting there, and there was like a praise and worship moment at the end, and I was just kind of like, Lord, like, I'm here. I don't know what you want from me, but I'm here. I just kept saying that. And it was the first time in my life where I had like random people come over to pray for me. Mind you, I've been in church all my life. And, they have the reach over and pray for your sister. Anytime I was in those environments, nobody put their hand on me. You know what I'm saying? I was just reaching out. I was just participating. I was performing. I was just participating in the ritual without understanding what it was. And I had people come over and pray for me, and like it was like the first time in my life where I really felt like I met Jesus, really. And the saying where it's just like he leaves the 99 to go find the one. Like that night I felt like the one. Like I was sitting there saying like, Lord, I'm here, and I felt like that was his way of acknowledging my presence. And so in a roundabout way, like Jesus has done more than just save me. He's found me. He's chased me. He has been all the things and then some. And just throughout my own time in my spiritual practices or whatever, when I read the scriptures and stuff like that, I've taken time to get into the Gospels and everything. And I went all my life having this understanding of God being this mean man up in the clouds that's just smacking the gavel down on people, and Jesus kind of being the enforcer of that. Whereas now I'm at this part in my walk, in my journey, where God is still the big guy up in the sky, you know what I'm saying? But I see him more as parent, more as caregiver, and I see Jesus as the one who redeems, the one who saves. Like his resurrection means more to me. I've having gone through the church, I feel like I took Easter, or I took his resurrection for granted. And now that I actually have a relationship with Jesus, I am so much more appreciative and understanding of the price that he paid in order to set me free.